Hey, what's up, everyone? Dave here, Black Label Painting. So tonight, I figured it'd be a good time to just go ahead and record a little bit of painting House Vyronii. So I've showed you guys how to do I do my metal work in the past, but tonight I'm going to give you a little bit more in depth look at how I spray panels for when I do candy. So I've got like a little, of course, I just got water all over it. I've got a little card here that I painted black, and I'll just give you a little bit of for instance, on how I do the black on panels and raised panels, or just to make a flat panel have depth. Now this is for my silver base. Now I've already pre-painted all of the panels with my silver base just to speed up the process. I had to let this stuff dry after I clear coated it, and then I've done all my other weathering and yada yada yada. But this is to help speed the process up and really focus on what it is I want to show you how I do. Now, this technique can be used to do green, blue. It doesn't matter. The Tamiya clears in general, this is how I do my metal work in preparation for the Tamiya clears. The only difference being that if I wanted to do a really good candy red, I will use a gold base instead of the silver base that I'm using. Again, the metal colors that I use, that I have been using a lot here lately, are as follows. It's, I'll start out with something that's prime black, and then I'll use this Vallejo metal color. I'm really pro for this stuff. It's really good stuff. Here, I'll drop the camera down, maybe help get rid of some angles or some glares. But I got the Vallejo metal color, and it's not going to focus. So this is gunmetal gray. That's what I start with. And then I'll come in with a highlight of dark aluminum. And then I'll bring a final highlight in with the chrome. Now, you'll see here's my little test panel. I'll bring this up a little. We'll go ahead and ready to rock and roll. And then I'm just doing this on a flat panel, but imagine you'll see, like, if it's bent, see the direct light hits it right there. Well, if you move it around, but so standing still, something that's standing still or standing at an angle, you'll notice that the light is the highest right there. Well, that's where we're going to bring in the really bright silver base. But for now, I'll just show you how I roll through doing my silver base. So this should be pretty easy to pick up on, but I figured I'd do it across this broader spectrum using the big piece of cardstock here that I primed black. So let's just say, for instance, this is like a shoulder panel or anything, and we want the highlight to come across. We want it to look like it's bending like this instead of bending like this. You'll see what I'm saying. So I'll come in here and I'll lay down my silver base. They don't have to be complete solid coverage. So you'll notice I left the majority of this black. I want this to be my light focus to be on this right here. So this is where I'm going to draw your eyes to whenever I do this. So you'll notice not touch there, not touch there. Okay. So now we'll go ahead and move on to the next color. That's pretty much, I'll overlay it. I don't go all the way to the edge. I leave a lot of the black whenever I can, because that helps with the lighting. Next up is I will come in with my dark aluminum. And with this dark aluminum, I'll start to define the color a little bit more. Wow, I just blasted all that out. Like every bit of it just blasted out of my airbrush. That's funny. All right, let's bring the pressure down a little because it's a little bit too high. So now next I'll come in here and I'll just focus that towards the center. Let it overspray just a little bit. So my main focus was in the middle. Overspray is starting to gradually work its way out and catch the panels. So see how the light is just like boom, right across that edge. It's really catches the light. Looking at it at different angles, it's not that bright. Here, I'll go ahead and I'll let that dry for a second. I'll speed the process up. It's always good to have an old hair dryer around. So I'll try to dry this off real quick. And it's always nice to have a hair dryer around whenever you're painting in general. If you want something to dry so you can go on to the next stage, just pick up the hair dryer and just go to town with it. So we're pretending like this panel is curved. See, if you move it around in the light, the main focus is going to be right there. That's because that's where we put all of the paint. But if you look at it from different angles, you can almost see, it's hard to catch it. Let's go this way. See how it's working itself there? Now, when we come in with our final, which is our chrome, it doesn't take much chrome because it's already pretty bright right there. Now, this is a more blown up. Of course, just testing it on this panel is just to show you how I do it. Now, I just apply this technique in a smaller scale. So now I'm just going to concentrate in the middle only. That's it. So now I'm moving around. You can see, I mean, it's really bright. It looks fucking chrome. That's what you want. So when you move the model around, your eyes are drawn to that top panel. Now this is how I do all my candies. So you guys are getting some premium intel here. Just for, you know, this will hit whatever you pledged. This video will charge for whatever you pledged. It's not gonna be a very long video. I'm trying to condense the videos down, not make them an hour long or shit like that. You know, if anything, it'll be me talking a little bit like I am right now. But I'm going to try to get the focus onto like learning and not taking up a whole lot of time because, hey, everybody wants to learn, but they ain't got all damn day long to sit and watch a video of how to do it. So I'm going to try to see, look at that, boom, how that light catches that. And that's just because I focused my pattern right there. And I built it up with 3 different layers. And that's pretty much how you get that. Now, excuse me. Sorry, I'm nursing a cold here as well. Now we will roll into... Damn it. Sorry, guys. Now I'll roll into the actual candy, which I'm using Tamiya's. But there's several different companies out there that produce a good clear paint. This one happens to stink like hell, and you should wear a respirator. Matter of fact, I'm gonna open the door, let a little air out. This shit is potent. Now, so we got our panel, all our metal work done on our panel. Okay, same technique used right there was used right here to do this panel. Same exact stuff. No different. That's how I do my metal work. Now, on this panel as well. Now, these are going to be painted candy green for the House Vyronii. I'm going to be working the sides, just the sides only. Because this, I'm going to do a copper. Here's another one. Same technique right here on this piece of paper, or this cardstock here, like an index card, was used on all those panels. Now, I'm going to break out my green because I'm doing House Vyronii. Let me see. I believe I've already thinned this. Pull a little bit of clear and a little bit of reducer in there. It still looks a little thick. I'm using X20 reducer from Tamiya. There. This stuff, the name of the game is thinning it. It's alcohol base. It dries fast as shit. The X20 is a lot of alcohol is in that. But it's what you need to thin this stuff. It dries pretty damn quick because of this. But all right, so when you spray this stuff, when your first coat, you don't have to lay it on thick. Thin, repetitive coats, thin, equal coats all the way across, and just is going to be key to keep from pooling, because this stuff will pool up, it'll run in the cracks, and it won't give you the look that you want. All right, let that dry a little bit. Now on camera you can barely see any green, but trust me, in here in person, let me bring this in a little bit more. Here in person, it does have a green tint to it. See if I can't move her around a little. See it down there? A little bit of green. Now, I'm going to put the green on a little heavier. You're going to build coats up. Thin coats is the name of the game. So like Duncan says, thin coats. Now, I'm going to work these thin coats on these panels that I've got here that I want to finish up this night anyhow. See? Thin coats. Don't want to put it on too heavy because it will pull and ruin your night. Literally ruin your night. Not even ruin your night, but as in ruin your fucking evening, because you'll have to strip it. Unless you're just okay with it pulled up and looking like crap. There. We'll let those sit over there and dry. Let them be fine. All right, now we'll move on to another coat. A little heavier this time. Now, the stuff really comes alive now when you get about second coat in there. Stuff really comes alive. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the hairdryer on it. Too damn much. Too damn much. All right, so now we're going to go back in for what normally is the third and final coat. I usually try to keep these coats to around 3 coats. And we'll see how it looks after that. And that is pretty much the way we want it to look. Now, you didn't see it before whenever it was just silver. It didn't make sense to you, or it was too bright. Well, now that we got this candy on there, it makes sense, doesn't it? It's gave this panel depth. Now imagine this panel being bent or a curved panel. It makes sense. It looks like part of the panel is raised up, and that's the magic of candies. Good stuff. So this is the pretty generic way of showing you to do it. I use this index card just because I thought that it would demonstrate it a lot easier for someone. Now, there's also other cool tricks you can do. I'll work on showing those guys to you later. but you can make the metal look even more burnished. You can put like scratches in the metal underneath, and it makes it look super damn cool. But for now, I guess I'll roll on through and just record me finishing these panels. Shouldn't take too long, as I've only got just a few panels. Oh, almost forgot this one. Go ahead and pull out. Give it a little bit of... I used a different clear coat this evening, a different matte varnish. I used Minotaur matte varnish, and it is not really liking it too much. I normally use dull coat from Testers, and that stuff gives me no issues. This stuff is... I'm hoping it's not going to freak out on me, otherwise I'll be upset. I think I might be able to save it. But anyhow, this test panel here was the main thing that I wanted you guys to see, because it clearly demonstrates how I do candy. And it's pretty simple. Sorry, I hope you guys aren't hearing the kids squalling in the background. But that's it. You do silver base, you do your silver work like I showed you. You do 3 coats of the candy like I showed you. And well, right now we're only on 1.5 coats, I guess, because I started to freak out on this. I don't know. I'll have to work on this a little bit more. I'm hoping 3 or 4 coats, maybe it might take 4 coats. Sometimes, you know, instances like this, you might want to go ahead and throw on a 4th coat. Just depends on how this evens out for me. You can see it speckling up. It's not doing what I want it to do. That's for damn sure. Whoa. Some more in here. Thin it down just a tad. Normally I do like a 50-50 mix with the X20 thinner. It just depends. Ooh-wee. There we go. That's starting to bring it back around now. I think it was just too thin. The first batch was too thin. No. But oh no, got touched. I did a little bit of battle damage right there. Thankfully, whenever you do not want to touch this stuff when it's dry, until it dries. You know, test it on your touch your tape. Is this going to have overspray on it? If it's tacky, you know the rest of it's going to be tacky. Luckily, I can turn that into battle damage. It's not a huge deal. But you can see it's starting to turn itself around. It's raining here too, so the humidity might be freaking it out a little bit as well. I need to let that dry. So throw the hair dryer to it. Hell, I can put a decal over that and hide that with a decal, thankfully. So you touch the tape. It's pretty dry now. Let's see if you've noticed on the Porphyrion that I did using this technique. If you put it in certain light, I'll tell you, it looks like ribbon candy for Christmas. Man, this shit is really candy. It looks freaking awesome. So, just a few more coats. I'll have to work on these panels over here. They're reacting a little funky, so I'll have to work on them a little bit more. But that's basically all there is to doing candy the way I do candy. So, again, I told you I was going to keep this one short and simple and sweet. My main bit of focus was this panel right here, because I believe you learn more off watching this, painting something big and flat than anything. So I thank you guys, my Patreons. You guys are all awesome. Oh, also at the end of this month, don't forget, I will be just selecting at random one of you lucky Patreon supporters and giving you a brand new set of broken toed brushes. Now, if I can get, I'm not gonna commit to this just yet, but if I can get a few more Patreons in my Patreon, then I will probably go ahead and give away a brand new Sotar 2020 airbrush. I need to. So if you guys would, help spread the word, share my Patreon, it would greatly appreciated. And then, like I said, I'm gonna give away a Sotar 2020 in a couple months. I've got one still brand new in the box that I didn't realize I already had 2 Sotars already, so I don't really need the third Sotar. So why not just give it to some Patreons? Well, keep you guys' ears out for that, and we thank you. I will see y'all on the next one. Or the next one, I will show you how I do blue. Not candy blue, just like regular blue. I'm working on a couple nights, so I figured why not just use these to show you how I do things. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Later.